One important step before you sew is ironing the fabric. Ironing the fabric or wash the fabric and then naturally sun dry it is helping the fabric to settle down, and then it help after you sew the product gonna be stable on the quality. You double fold the fabric. And make sure we always cut along the border of the fabric. That means the pattern gonna be placed along with the border, not this way. You copy the pattern on the fabric, mark all the dot. In this case, depend on how long you want the outside. You can add more fabric, add more the length you want for the length of the outside. So now I'm gonna tracing the pattern, and then I can cut on the fabric. You can use the pen to mark all the way around for the pattern. And here is the area for the dot, and you keep doing like that until the end. How do you mark the dot? First, you can mark on the pattern here, this angle and this angle. And this is the middle. And then this is the point where they meeting. You lift it up, mark, and then you already have a 2 point here. You use a ruler to connect. So you already mark the dot on the pattern for the body. Similar you do for the dot of the body. The dot here, you can mark this point is where the dot meeting, this point. So you lift it up and mark a point here. You mark one important point. This point is where it turns at the waist. And this point and the bird line point here. Then you move the pattern and then you can connect them together. And keep doing it like that for the other side of the pattern. When you want to mark the dot to the other side, you hold this point, mark the point here, hold this point, mark the point, hold this point, mark the line, and flip it over. You can connect them and do it similar for the other side. To draw the back pattern, we go to back pattern like this. So because we do the zipper, so you need to spare some space along here, maybe 2 centimeter when you cut more for the zipper. So you want to mark this and mark 2 centimeter out along with this line. Follow the curve here also. I suggest you leave 2 or 2.5 2 centimeter for this area. Like that. And everything else copy the same. And remember to mark the dot also. Yeah. And cut to the length you want. So we do the zipper on the middle from the back at the middle. And we copy, tracing everything and cut. To copy, you can mark the point here where it turn, the dot turn, other ways. Hold it like this, lift it up, mark the point under. Yep, and keep doing it like that. You have this point, hold it, lift the fabric up, mark the point, and then this point also. And then this point. Here at the bottom, I don't cut it so long because I'm gonna add some of the Hmong embroidery fabric on the bottom, but you can feel free to add the length of the dress as long as you want. Yep. For modern style of the outside, they don't make it so long. Yep. But traditional one is long, almost to the floor. Hello, now I'm gonna show you how to sew that properly. And this is the side dart, and this is the waist dart along from the chest to the hip. So now first I'm gonna, after marking the line for the dart, I'm gonna join the 2 darts here together by folding them along with the middle line of the dart. And then I'm gonna put it in the machine under the needle. Start sewing. You can go back stitch at the beginning if the fabric is stable enough. Or you can go reverse, it's okay also. Unless when you sew you don't like play with it, so it's not open out, it's okay. And then keep going, slowly, marching the line until the meeting point here, and you keep going out a little bit. So we never go reverse around this area because it can ruin the fabric easy, especially with some delicate fabric like silk or tin or cotton. So when you keep going and the 2 thread got tangled like it, is already created knot. And then you can cut it from here, like that. And you leave it open like that. So that is a side dart, and then after you will iron and you will form the dart very beautiful. Next thing is the waist dart here. You do the same thing, you join them together, fold joining from the middle line like that. And you sew, you don't start sewing from the top to the bottom. Of course you can, but it will be like harder. I suggest you sew from the middle of the waist here. Slowly, no need to go reverse in the middle, okay? And then slowly marching to that point here and go out, and then keep cutting the tangle thread here. We cut the extra thread at the beginning here. The reason why I don't go reverse, because I can turn it the other way and go and sew, and when I sew I will start a little bit back from here, so it already have the collapsing part. Of course, if you want to reverse, if you feel the fabric is stable enough, it's okay also. Then you can sew. So we just sew the waist dart and the side dart together, and you do it similar for the back and all the dart in the front. And after, I will see you in the ironing step. Ở đây mình có nối với một mảnh batik. Here, I attach the bottom of the outside, some of the hormone, indigo natural dye, and batiks, beadworks, drawing, painting, hand painting. Of course, you can use whatever fabric or design you like, but in my case, I add more. It's not required you to do the same thing. You can be creative and do whatever design like you feel attractive. The next step, I iron the dart. The dart you can iron so it's facing outside is okay. And then I iron the dart for the front. Similar things. Facing up or down, doesn't matter. This one facing up or down, yeah, the dart. Iron so the dart stable. Next thing you need to do is to put the right side of the front facing the right side of the back to sew the shoulder together. Remember, we spare 1 centimeter for the seam allowance, so you will draw the line and start sewing for the other side also. And now we will process the sleeve. So the sleeve, the part I mark it, is we will start the ruffle from here. So now I'm going to run a line. From here along with this. I don't need to go back stitch, I don't need to reverse. And I cut it apart from this a little bit. And then next thing I will hold the under thread, at the bottom here. I pull, and then we will create the ruffle. Of course, you can do it by hand. You can use hand stitch. You can do it by hand, but do it by machine is faster. And you wanna pull it both sides like this. How the leg here gonna fit with the body sleeve curve. Like that, and then keep going. You can keep moving the ruffle in the middle. And we will check with the sleeve and see if it's matching. If it's shorter or longer, we can readjust the ruffle how they're matching. And ideally, you make the ruffle even from both sides is the best. So it's like that, and then, so that is the sleeve we have. I test with the body here. So when I sew together, I want to sew naturally until here first. And anything we can adjust later. So we sew naturally until here. And then check this part. Take it out. And I sew the other side too. This one. This part naturally matching this end. And then I'm checking the leg here. If this one matching this one. If not, I can adjust the ruffle more. Make sure the ruffle even or around the shoulder. Like that. And I'm checking. Now here. Almost. And remember, you can, during the process of sewing, you can settle it by your hand too. So now I can start to sew from here. Of course, you need to estimate the matching first, like that. Matching in here, in the middle matching, at the end here. Matching. So that's good. If you want to make the ruffle focus more on the top of the shoulder, which is totally fine also. But just remember, we do it same for both sides. And the tip to sew the ruffle is to flat the ruffle naturally sitting like that. So the waving is waving, right? Set the wavy down like that. Pull it when you sew. Settle the wavy down nicely. Nicely when you sew. So depending on how much the ruffle you want, you want more or less. That's how you settle it together. is a ruffle around your sleeve, like that. So really depend on how much you want, you know. You can always how much the puffy you want. You can always design the sleeve in the way you like. And I do similar for the other side, and then I'm going to go to the zigzag machine, zigzag all the part, and later sew the side together like this. Turn them over. After zigzag, I sew the sleeve together along and here with the side together until the waist. I sew until the waist, and then I will. This is the sleeve gonna be open. Now we're gonna sew the side together. So now is the side of sleeve here. We're gonna sew until the waistline here, or even higher, or a little bit lower, depending on how you like to handle it. Where you want the sleeve to start. And you do similar on the other side, and then you can iron this part. And this part is belong to the sleeve here. The sleeve here you can fold like this and sew straight, or you can even fold them one more time like that and sew on top. For the sleeve here, after you sew the side together, you can go to the iron machine and do the ironing this part. For the sleeve, you can fold like that and sew, or you can fold inside twice, one more time, and start sewing the sleeve together. And sew until the end. Okay, so now we go to the zipper part. So first you wanna sew the back, the central of the back together. And remember, it's just a fake seam, because later we're gonna iron after we sew, and then we're gonna open it up until the part where the hip is. Because the hip is the part normally the biggest part, so we're gonna open. We go back stitch until here. We go and then come to here. We go back stitch, and then we have the zipper open up to there. But depending on the length of the zipper also, you should have a long enough zipper. In this case, you can open it maybe a little bit bigger until here. This part. Okay, so now I'm gonna sew them together. Remember, we spare 2 centimeters for the seam allowance. We don't need to go back stitch here, because later we're gonna iron and open it out anyway. back stitch and keep going until the end of the outside. We open this part and iron to get the flip, like the iron will settle down the seam here together. We iron all the way down. I already have a pillows under. This is the pillow I made by myself for ironing the curly part. And keep ironing until the end. And after ironing, you can place the zipper on top. And I have one tip for beginner. You can hand sew. You can hand sew the zipper. Fix them together with the back center first, like that. No need to be like very small step. You can go with big steps just to fix them together until the end. You tie a knot at the bottom. When you do it like that, once you open it out, you still have the seam in the sole to follow. Like that. Keep going until the end and then tie the knot at the bottom. And do it for this side also. And then you will seam the seam ripper to open the part, the middle part here, up until the back stitch. So up until the back stitch here, you stop. So now is the zipper part. To make the zipper in my machine, I'm gonna use this foot. Depend on your machine, you have to change the foot, and I realized that industrial sewing machine use different foot from the portable sewing machine, but the result is similar, the same. So I put the zipper along with the pleat, matching the pleats. I lift this one up so it can fit the right elbow here. Because I already make a seam like that, so it will be much easier for me to sew on top. So that's why I recommend you use a needle and sew it first. You can clean all the thread out. Until the end, where the back stitch is. And you sew similar for the other side. The other side, because it's sewn on the left, we simply open and fill it in the left turn. Okay, leave it up. And then finally, you can pull the zipper up and remove hammer like that all the way up.